Hello, everybody. It is Monday. It's January the 27th already. We're about to knock January in the head, and you might think it's cold. It is. You might think it's icy and snowy. It is. But I still got lots of fishing news for you in our weekend wrap-up, so stay right where you're at, and I will be right back.
Hi, I'm Captain Jay Cudworth of the Kokomo with Paradise Dolphin Cruises at Safe Harbor Marina in Wanchese. I want to invite you to take a ride out on the Roanoke Sound to see the majestic bottlenose dolphins up close. As a native, I'll be telling you stories from these waters as a boy growing up in Wanchese. Nature and history have combined to make this area unique, and I love sharing this special place with special people. So come on aboard with me and my crew and experience the real beauty of the Outer Banks. For more information, go online to ParadiseDolphinCruises.com. Again, this is Captain Jay. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Locally owned and operated since 1971, Billy's Seafood has been providing the locals and visitors of the Outer Banks with some of the freshest seafood you'll find. Not too far off the beaten path down Collington Road in KDH, Billy's Seafood has become a landmark for those seeking top-notch seafood at affordable prices. Billy's Seafood also has beer, wine, grandma's tuna salad, and other groceries as well. To see more, go online to billyseafoodobx.com. Billy's Seafood, putting fresh seafood on your table for over 50 years.
I talked to several of the captains yesterday from Oregon Inlet, and I talked to Captain Andy Pyland on the Good Times down at Odin's Dock in Hatteras. Talked to Captain Dickie Harris on the Fantastic out of Oregon Inlet. I talked to somebody that went surf fishing. We'll get to that in a minute. And I talked to somebody that was back in the Sound. And all those things, there was a little bit of action everywhere, and some of it was very, very good. When I talked to Andy, he had told me over the last couple of days he had been catching between 15 and 20 bluefin tuna a day. Now, these are in all size ranges. I think what he told me was each day he kept one and released all the rest. So a lot of that is determined by the law, and some of these seasons will be closing as the quotas are caught up. The quotas are basically commercial fishing is one quota for the giant bluefins. That one is almost maxed out. And then there's the recreational limit quota, and that would be for the giants as well as the smaller fish, the fish that are in the 200-pound range. The inch stuff won't mean a lot to a lot of my listeners, but the giants I generally consider to be over 400 pounds and everything else under 400 pounds. And those seasons will all be determined to be shut down by quota. It's highly, highly monitored and watched by the feds. So you got that going on. But he had a couple of great days of bluefin tuna fishing. You should stop by the dock and say hi if you get a chance. Any of our docks down in Hatteras have had a lot of activity going on down there right now. Teachers Lair Marina is another example. Hatteras Harbor, there's plenty of places to go. Ask questions, walk the dock, get out on a charter. At Oregon Inlet, they had some more big fish. Dickie Harris said that yesterday was as good as it gets. There's just big bluefins. You couldn't even think about fishing for a yellowfin because you get all these giant bluefin bites. And some of these fish, if you listened last week, are up to and bumping 1,000 pounds. That's one fish, 1,000 pounds, 80-inch fish. You can do the math. That's a big tuna. Keep it in mind, those big ones are very restricted. Most of them they have to let go. And yes, they do let them go in good shape. They drag them along a little bit, get some water flowing back through their gills, and they unhook them and set them free. By law, that's the way that goes. But both fleets, Oregon Inlet and Hatteras, really, really good bluefin tuna fishing. Then I told you there's some other stuff. This is a true fishing report fact. We know that there's still puppy drum being caught down on Hatteras Island and Ocracoke. And then I had a friend that told me, and this is a very reliable friend, a former coworker, and he said to me, I had a great day of fly fishing on the puppy drum. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Where? Back in the Sound? And he said, no, in the surf. In the surf on Hatteras Island, it was calm. You could just see them swimming up and down right on the shoreline. He's fly fishing for puppy drum, did really well. And there's a lot more to that report. You can read between the lines. If you can catch them on a fly rod, you're going to do really well on bait or a lure, and a lot of that's going on. I don't know specific locations. I might not share them if I did, but I do know it's Hatteras Island. And all you have to do is go to your local tackle shops, and they will steer you to the right areas. There's not many fishermen around, and it's cold, but I tell you what, they had a couple really good days over the weekend on puppy drum. Still a scattered black drum in the catches as well. That's all I had, really, other than I did hear of a couple of rockfish, believe it or not, being caught north of Oregon Inlet in the ocean. I'm not so sure. I don't have a confirmed report on that, but that's about it for things that happened in the Atlantic Ocean. So we'll take a little break right here, and I'll come back and tell you just a little bit of information, which is all I have on what's going on in the backcountry.
When it comes to general maintenance or major modifications on your diesel vehicle, look no further than Wanchi's Off-Road Diesel Performance in Kill Devil Hills. Master mechanic Ryan Walker developed the plan for having his own auto shop over 20 years ago, and today he owns the premium diesel performance powerhouse of the Outer Banks. To have him and his crew take a look under your hood, give him a call today at 252-715-0025 or find him on social media. Wanchi's Off-Road Diesel Performance, the diesel performance powerhouse of the Outer Banks.
So as we know, coastal waters and joint waters, the speckled trout season is closed due to the cold stun event. That's fisheries law. I didn't write the law. I did not do that, but that's where it stands right now. Inland waters are still open, but make sure you know your laws. In other words, some places like, believe it or not, East Lake in Dare County is technically inland water. So the way I understand it, you can still keep a speckled trout there, but if you're going to leave that body of inland water and cross the joint waters and you have that trout in your possession, you could be in violation of the law. So I would ask questions of North Carolina Marine Patrol and North Carolina Wildlife Resources Officer. That's our two state governing agencies, and do not use what I say for law, because it can change in an hour by proclamation. Different things happen, so do your due diligence on that. Having said that, there was still, I have heard of one report all weekend of somebody fishing in inland waters, saw a few cold stun trout, but the rest of the ones that were still there were still biting, the ones that were not cold stun. So that's all I have. Man, we have been talking about speckled trout since summertime. That's still going on. We are just ahead of the crappie bite. We've been kind of teasing that a little bit. Still have that coming up in the next few weeks probably, and it wouldn't surprise me with that warm spell we had yesterday if some were not caught yesterday. That is a very top secret. Nobody will tell me where to go to go crappie fishing, because there's only a few places that are really good, a couple red hot spots, and they don't want to tell me because I have a podcast. And again, I respect privacy and don't give away specific locations, but I will say this: if that's something you're interested in, it's time to get out your fishing tackle, get geared up, and go to the old hot spots. And that's really all we have in the fishing report for today. You know, the snow is melting away in a much quicker fashion right now, and we'll be turning the corner into a new season. Have a lot of our captains and mates are traveling right now. There's tournaments going on. The Triple Crown is going on in Los Sueños, Costa Rica. So, and we are well represented. The Oregon Inlet fleet is well represented in those tournaments, and I have not heard of anybody right yet that I'm aware of that's a hometown hero that's winning in that tournament. In fact, I've heard of one who will remain unnoticed that is going backwards in the standings. But we'll see what happens, and we'll keep you posted. Have a blessed day.